it going?
Hi, good morning, Lynn. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself today?
Doing good, doing really good. I was really excited, to have a chance to talk with you and interview you for the chapter. So I hope everything has been going well, particularly, through all of the times that we have been going through and doing so much work from home, which is so much different than, how we've been in the chapter in the past.
Well, for the chapter, absolutely. I think, though, what's probably been really good for a lot of coaches is they've been using this technology for a long time. And
Mhm,
while there may be some clients that have been a little hesitant to use it, all of a
mhm.
sudden there's an opportunity for them because they almost get forced to use it,
Yeah.
find out that it's not so bad. So from the standpoint of coaching, I think this is actually a real win for us.
Yeah. And then, if we look at it as a gift, what did we get out of this gift? Then it can turn out to be a really good thing for all of us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
so you were past president in 2018, and wanted to spend a little bit of time because this is our 20th anniversary, and it's also the 25th anniversary of ICF Global.
Mhm.
So you've seen, also seen quite a bit over the past few years. Tell us a little bit about how you decided to get into this work of coaching.
Oh, I guess I need to tell you the abbreviated story of it, but it was interesting because when I first started my business back in 2001, coaching was not in my services really. I did a lot of organizational development work. Now, I did a lot of coaching when I was in corporate America, but I saw the opportunity as doing a lot of work with teams and groups. And then 9/11 hit. And I had to kind of step back and rethink my model. And so I went a totally different direction. Well, years later, as I was working in organizations, one of the presidents of a company who happened to be an internal client years ago approached me and said, Lynn, I'd like you to coach our VP of HR. And I kind of stepped back and thought, is this really what I want to do? Because I'm doing a lot of this group work. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And it really was quite satisfying because we were able to have these conversations. And I thought, maybe I need to start thinking about doing some more individual work. And so that's what led me back into kind of the coaching side of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard, stories from different people about how they got into coaching. And one of the things that I can remember coming into the Coach Federation as a new coach is getting some really great advice from some of the coaches who have been doing this for a very long period of time. And so what's some advice that you would want to give or to share with those who are even thinking about becoming coaches or those who are new in the field?
Yeah. So, as since I run the business forum, I see a lot of those new coaches
Mhm.
circle through. And, it's interesting because a lot of people come in thinking, I guess, and I don't want to say that it can't be done, but it becomes more difficult when you try to shoestring things along. And so really stepping back, because not only are you doing coaching, but you're running a business
Mhm.
and making sure that you have a strong enough base or resources to be able to do the work on the business side, in addition to working on your coaching skills side. And so, and I know that coaches struggle a lot with that because most people who get into coaching, they do it for the love of the craft because they love to coach, but then they find out, how do I get the clients to be able to coach, and so it's kind of the chicken before the egg type of thing. So I encourage people to spend the appropriate amount of time they need on building the business, because that's going to enable you to do the craft that you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And you get a chance to see it from the side of the business forum. What would you tell anyone who is thinking about getting into coaching or new to coaching about what it takes to be a good coach?
Yeah. And I do this also because I work as a mentor coach, and there's a lot of people who are trying to get to their ACC level, their PCC level, et cetera, and up the ladder. And it's interesting because I think that sometimes we can get a little too comfortable. You know, we go through a training program and we think, oh, we've got it all and we're ready to go out and coach. But what you find, because oftentimes I listen to tapes about where people are working with their clients, we kind of get a little lax, you know, and so one of the things that I think I would really recommend people to do and new coaches to do is really at the forefront put how do you develop your coaching skills. And I differentiate that from going and learning the newest assessment or the, you know, this program that gives you some other kind of tools, because at the end of the day, when you get to the master level, it's all about the coaching. It's not about the tools. And so really understanding who you are, and, you know, because the other essence around that, when you go back to the business model, is if you think about it, there's, you know, lots and lots of leadership coaches. There's lots of career coaches. There's a lot of coaches in a lot of different disciplines, but what is it that differentiates them? It's the coach's style. It's the coach's ability to really be present with their client. And they learn that through their coaching skills. And it's something to continue. I practice mine every day. That's one of the things that kind of got to be an aha about me is, you know, you don't stop. You know, you keep working on yourself and you keep, you know, because I don't know about you, but I sit out of a coaching session from time to time and I'll go, oh, wow, I blew that. I didn't do that one very well, right? And we all do that. But it's about, and that's the other thing that I do encourage a lot of coaches to do is to tape their sessions and go back and listen to them and sit down with the competencies and go through and understand the competencies really well. And, you know, self-grade yourself and say, what is it I'm doing well? Because when you're in the moment, you might catch a few things, but when you go back and you re-listen to your recording, then it's like, oh, wow, all these other things pop up. And that's where the learning really begins.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I resonate with that, going back and listening to some of the sessions. And you're absolutely right. Wow, either I missed that or I could have done that a little bit differently. So thank you so much for all of the advice that you've given us and for how you've also served the chapter. And looking forward to seeing you hopefully in 2021 as all of this lifts. And just continue to stay healthy and continue to stay safe. And we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.